Good morning, everyone. This is Chief Buie. I'm just wanted to take some time this morning to do some updates on what the police department has been doing for the first half of 2025. Hard to believe that it's already August of 2025, but a lot of times we don't get statistics and we don't share with what's going on in the police department until an annual basis, but I think it's important that we put some information out halfway through the year to know how we're doing, where we can improve, and where we are doing well. So with that being said, I'm going to go through some statistics from each of our divisions on how they're doing and what they're doing. At the end, I'll talk about what our immediate plans are for the future, to try to improve our police department, and we'll go forward from there. So I'll start today with Uniform Patrol Division. The Uniform Patrol Division, that's the men and women you see out in the cars, running radar, patrolling the neighborhoods, answering our calls for service. That's all of those people. I'll start with calls for service. Sector 1 officers' calls for service, but Sector 1 consists of from Route 58 south. And it covers all of that area. And so Sector 1's officer calls for service from January to current are 25,657. That means our dispatchers have received that many calls just for that sector in the first 6 months of the year, first 6 or 7 months of the year. So 25,657 calls. Sector 2, which is north of Route 58, all the way to the Chesapeake line and the Isle of Wight lines, their calls for service were 14,867. So as you can see, the men and women stay very busy to answer that many calls for service. Emergency custody orders. From January to now, the officers have responded to and executed with TDOs, with temporary detention orders, and ECOs, emergency custody orders. They have done 272 of those. To break that down for you, when an officer is on an ECO or a TDO, when they are on that call, sometimes an officer, it might not be the same officer, but an officer has to stay on that call for sometimes up to a total of 3 days. Up to 72 hours. So those calls can be manpower draining. If you can imagine 272 of those in 6 months that the police officers have to respond to, and they have to sit with that person until that person is either determined to be released, or they are transported to a facility for more care. Special operations, these are the men and women who do our special events that we have, our Peanut Fest, our Earth and Arts Festivals, our Pet Palooza. We send officers to Harbor Fest to assist Norfolk in the Harbor Fest event. Our 4th of July events that are held in Eclipse and held in our downtown at the Hilton area. That's a very manpower intensive event where we provide security and traffic control for both of those events. The remaining events for this year: September 13th, we have our Taste of Suffolk. October 4th, Peanut Fest Parade. Then the 9th through the 12th, followed up by Peanut Fest. The 18th and 19th, Driver Days. November 8th, a Salute to Service 5K. November 21st, Grand Illumination. November 22nd, Thanksgiving food giveaway, and December 13th, the holiday parade. These events are handled by our Special Operations Unit, all of them involved in it, and it also involves our Uniform Patrol Division. So as you can imagine, very manpower intensive events that we provide security and traffic control for all of these events. The parade events, I don't know if we've ever put this out there, but our parades our Peanut Fest Parade and our Holiday Parade, we usually 70 police officers in order to pull those events off and to keep everybody safe. So just giving you a number of what it takes during these special events to supply police officers to them to keep us all safe and to keep traffic flowing. Our K-9 unit from January to now have had 32 apprehensions without force. That means the suspect somewhat surrendered to the dog without the dog having to go any further. Just the presence of the dog, the person surrendered, so no one was injured. Building area searches, 19 building area searches. They've done 26 foot patrols with their canines, 13 tracks, 35 vehicle searches. They've seized 103 grams of marijuana, 141 grams of cocaine, 8 drug arrests, 37 other arrests, and they participated in 46 search warrants and knock and announces, and they've done 10 demos, where they go to different places and we demo our canine units. Training hours, they've conducted from January to now 538 hours of training. Our traffic unit, we've studied over 51 areas within the city, issued 1,470 summonses. Our commercial motor vehicle unit has issued 110 overweight citations with damages totaling $664,374 in fines issued. Our dive team, snow day water recovery on East Washington Street, February 19th of this year. And our Marine Patrol, they've 20 weekend deployments between May and July, 11 distress calls, 3 medical assist calls, 3 person in the water calls, and 3 boat crashes. They're scheduled for over 50 deployments for the season. That's Harbor Fest, Clean the Bay, Port Security, July 4th events, and a search and rescue forum. Getting to our criminal investigations unit, the criminal investigations unit consists of our detective bureau, our intelligence bureau, and our special investigations unit. Overall, year to date, since January to now, our crime has decreased overall in the city 16%. Last year overall, crime was reduced 6%, and this year so far we're 16%. So what that tells me is that the men and women that are out there are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And their job is to be out there and to deter crime, but if crime does occur, is to solve those crimes. So 16% decrease with a city that is growing in population is a good number, and that is a credit to all the men and women in the police department and our community that work really, really hard to make Suffolk a safe place. Overdoses, approximately 40% decrease year to date in overdoses, which is fantastic news because before we were getting numerous overdoses per week. Shooting incidents have decreased by approximately 50%. Year to date, last year, this time there was 11, and right now there's 5 shooting incidents in the city, which also bringing down violent crime is a major, major thing that we target every single day. And what these men and women are doing is working because those numbers are coming down. Our criminal investigations, the Detective Bureau, they've done 240 search warrants year to date. They've obtained 8 indictments, and they have submitted 157 indictments and secured 413 arrest warrants. Our Special Investigations Unit, which consists of our gang unit and our neighborhood enforcement team and our narcotics unit. Year to date, they have made 130 arrests, conducted 141 search warrants, have obtained 95 indictments. They have 92 pending cases waiting to be submitted to the grand jury or cleared by the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. A note on that is that last year we ran the numbers, it went on until February of 2025, and a total number in 2024 for those units were 720 indictments charged. It all goes back to doing the actionable intelligence. These men and women don't just drive around looking to see what they can find out. They may do that sometimes just doing patrol work, but what they do is they receive this information from our intelligence units, and it's actionable intelligence. It's something that they can confirm is going on, and those are the things they target. So they're using their time really wisely in the cases that they work, and that alone last year up till February resulted in 720 indictments, which is absolutely incredible. It really is. I don't say that because I'm their chief of police. I say that because these units are really, really working hard and doing the job that we ask them to do. And because of the things that they do, or partly because of the things that they do, our overall crime rate is down 16%. So we're going to continue on that course until we get that crime rate to where we believe it to be, and where I believe it should be is at 0. So we'll see what happens. Individual charges, 308. So the number of indictments, don't confuse that with arrests. It doesn't mean 720 people. It means 720 indictments for different charges. They arrested 308 people. The staffings for that unit is 1 lieutenant, 3 sergeants, 18 police officers. The actual staffing is 1 lieutenant, 2 sergeants, and 9 officers. So the unit is approximately at 55% staffing, and they are making record number of cases and arrests at 55% staffing. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this. But once again, that's just incredible work to do that kind of work and have those kind of results at almost half staffing. Our Special Weapons and Tactics team, which is our SWAT team, call-outs, responding to incidences in progress, which could be a barricaded person, a hostage barricade situation. They've responded to three of them from January to now. And planned operations, they have done 24. They're continuing to build out on a new CAD and RMS system. This has been going on for several years and is scheduled to go live in spring of next year. It just improves everything that we have in our CAD and RMS. Is going to make the officer's job that much easier and that much better. We began this year the firearms transition project, which will be getting all brand new firearms and optics and brand new holsters for everybody on the department. Completed the installation of a new conference room and command bus technology and connectivity. So our command bus has a lot of IT things in it. We keep that updated the best we can, so we have the best in there that we can possibly have. Real-time intelligence center is active. We're working on staffing it better, but it's active at this point, and modifications are continuing to include expanding our automatic license plate readers and gunshot detection systems. Our professional standards, which is part of the admin division, we sent 20 recruits to the June 2025 Academy. 10 recruits graduated in June of 25. And we are conducting a hiring event. We conducted a hiring event in March of 2025, and we will be conducting another hiring event this Saturday. And we'll talk more about that later, but mark that on your calendar this Saturday. If you ever wanted to be a Suffolk police officer, August 9th is the day. Come out on Saturday and we will hook you up. As of today, our numbers are, for vacancy purposes, we're hovering around 11% and 12% vacancies for sworn personnel, which means we're right about, we hover between 20 and 25 vacancies. Our goal is to get those vacancies to 0 by the first of the year, and that will account for new positions and old positions. So that's our goal. We're well on our way to accomplishing that goal, and this Saturday will help us that much. So please, if you've ever thought about being a police officer, Saturday is your day. Come to Suffolk Police Department, and you will be able to knock out 75% of the process in one day. We were awarded law enforcement reaccreditation from CALEA this year. We maintained CALEA accreditation for communications, and we planned and began hosting sworn and professional staff in service. Our animal care and control, which fall under our admin, 1,077 animals taken into the shelter. When adjusted for population, Suffolk takes in the second most animals in Hampton Roads as a local government shelter. 183 animals adopted out, 121 animals redeemed by their owners, 335 transferred to another shelter or facility. Approximately 126 are within the shelter or located at a foster home. This year, our animal control did the largest equine investigation and seizure in Suffolk history. Something that's still ongoing in the courts, but the men and women of our animal control and animal care division took on a task that is something that an agency 4 times their size should have to take on, and they took it on and seized over 20 animals, 20 horses, and are working that investigation, which all said and done will involve approximately 60 plus horses. So it was a major, major investigation, and it's still ongoing at that time, but I wanted to give them their props that they worked nonstop to make sure that the animals in question here were taken care of, and to bring forth the proper charges to the people that were not treating those animals as they should be treated. Communications. Processed 69,066 calls for service. 55,000 of those calls for service were for police, and 10,949 were for the fire department, and 3,061 for our animal control division. 99% of the 911 calls were answered within 20 seconds. The standard nationwide is to make sure that you answer that call when that phone's ringing within 20 seconds at least 90% of the time. The Suffolk dispatchers answer them calls for service within 20 seconds 99% of the time, exceeding the standards that are set. Our response times, which means from the time the call is received to the arrival of the police officers. Priority 1, which is the high priority calls for service, which officers respond to with their blue lights and sirens, 7 minutes and 6 seconds is the average response time. Priority 2, which is a call for service that the officer needs to get to, but it does not require them to run with emergency equipment. It's taken them from time receiving the call to arrival, 24.6 minutes. And our priority 3 calls, which are past events that have occurred, could be several days ago or several hours ago, the officer's response time is 44 minutes and 58 seconds. Our goal is always to have the fastest response time that we can have. Community outreach, PIO, and social media. Y'all can't see them right now, but they're sitting back here looking at me go on. But it's Joan Turner, our outreach coordinator, has attended and/or coordinated 165 community events since January of this year. To shed some light on that, the original goal when Joan came here was Joan told me that she would guarantee me 120 events a year. That would mean that she would get out and the police officers would get out, I would get out and go to community events. So far this year, in 6 months, she has done 165. So she has exceeded her goal for the year in 6 months. So we gave her a new goal. So the new goal is for Joan to make 200. And Joan had given me the thumbs up just now saying that she's got that no problem. I don't have to attend all 200 of those, but Joan makes sure that I attend a good amount of those. But either Joan or a police officer, and every one of those that is counted in this, attends those events. And Joan does just one heck of a job, and she is the definition of what an outreach coordinator is. She really is. She does a fantastic job. She works me to death, but that's what her job is to work me to death. Our social media specialist, Crystal. Crystal is the one that is behind the camera up here right now, and Crystal has reinvented the way the Suffolk Police Department utilizes social media. I remember interviewing Crystal, when that job posting was there, and Crystal came in. She conducted the best interview, and what even made it even better, Crystal is a hometown girl. She's a Kings Fork High School graduate. She is a Suffolk resident, and she's done things on our social media that I have people tell me all the time that, man, y'all social media used to be, I wouldn't even look at it because it wasn't where it needed to be. And now they can't wait to look at it because Crystal's the work that Crystal does every day. And Crystal knows, and Joan knows, and Mandy knows that I appreciate everything that they do every day. And none of these things are possible, these podcasts or these social media postings and the marketing they do, without them. Our police department PIO, Mandy, who is also sitting here and has her hand in these podcasts all the time. She puts out all the media releases that you see. She keeps the public informed, and she keeps, us informed about what's going on. And she is the face of the police department. I know that when it comes down to it, you'd much rather see Mandy's face than you would see my face. So that's why she is our media specialist, and she's the one that keeps all of y'all informed about what's going on in our city. And I think she does an outstanding job. We've had several PIOs in my career, and I don't say this because Mandy's sitting here, but Mandy is far the best that we've had here and does an outstanding job. These three ladies together, they work together every day. I've kind of put them out there as individuals, but they all help each other. They get along great. They work together great, and our police department is a better place because of them. And I just wanted to put that out there because they work hard and sometimes go unnoticed. What are the goals of the Suffolk Police Department? What do we want to accomplish in the short term? I get asked a lot. I've never really talked to the public about it. We talk to the police officers about it from time to time. But my big concern right now is I want to get our vacancies to zero. We want to get to zero because when we do that 55% staffing level we talked about with the criminal investigations, we can get that to 100%. Once we get to zero vacancies, we can move people, we can staff our uniform patrol properly, and we can make transfers and promotions as we need to make sure that our specialty units are staffed. And they're the ones that are out there. They're the ones out there that are doing the day-to-day crime fighting. Our uniform patrol officers to be fully staffed so they can get out in their communities and they can walk in their communities, meet with the community instead of being understaffed and having to jump from call to call. They can slow down a little bit when they're staffed fully and meet the members of their community. That's what we've designed this to do, to give them a zone to work so they become familiar with their zones and they meet their community members and they build those relationships. So we talk to each other. The community are our eyes and our ears, and our officers need to be out there talking to them. So when something does happen in the community, these police officers are the first one these community members will call and say, hey, I saw this, I saw that, or I know this person, or I know that person. And we communicate with each other, and we have that partnership. And that's why it's so important to get these vacancy numbers down to zero. And we are working super hard to get there. Saturday, August 9th. We'll start at 0800, and we will take the last application at 1400. So we'll start at 8, we'll end at 2. It doesn't mean if you say, oh God, it's 1:30, I can't make it in time. If you get there at 1:59, we're going to take your application. Okay? So if you ever wanted to be a police officer, if you're a police officer, a certified police officer somewhere else and Suffolk suits you better, then come see us Saturday. We'll get you through the process, 75% of the process in one day. So if this is your preferred occupation, Saturday's your day. Come see us. The most important thing in closing, I want everybody to know, with any community members watching or any police officers watching, is that we cannot police without community support. The community owns this police department. We work here, you own it as a community, I own it because I'm a community member. I live in Suffolk also, so I want what's best for Suffolk because when I retire, I want Suffolk to continue to be a safe place to live, and we cannot do that without our community support. The community support is what drives this police department. If you have complaints, I want you to voice them. If you have compliments, I want you to voice them, because so far, a lot of times that goes unheard is how the good work that police officers do on a day-to-day basis. So For the community out there and our citizens out there, know that we're doing everything we can to keep you safe. We want to continue to do that, but we cannot do that without your support. If you see something, say something. A safe community is a community that we can sit on our porches, we can walk our dogs, we can go jogging, and we can do whatever we want to do in our community. We can keep our cars unlocked. I don't want you to, but we should be able to, right? We should be able to keep our cars unlocked and not worry about somebody taking stuff from our vehicles. So until we get to zero, it's not good enough. So if you're a community member out there, please help us, call us, support us, and let me know when we're not doing everything that we should be doing, and we'll do our very best to correct it. With that being said, thank you for your time, thank you for your support, and we look forward to the second half of 2025.